hello, can crack.
Ho, ho, ho. I love it.
What was that? What was that?
Why? Honestly, it's the holiday season, and I think you and I have done this for so long that I think at this point, we're just like, we get to do whatever we want. This is our podcast. We can do whatever we want. We can say whatever we want. Intro however we want. So ho, ho, ho.
Oh.
Speaking of, we'll start with random shit today. I went on a train of lights here in Northern California.
Yes.
Last night was my niece and nephew. And let me just say to the parents that were on that train that said you could not bring alcohol, but they brought bottles of wine to open on this train, props to you. Because there were like 30 kids with these like 5 families. And I'm sure you can relate to this. My sister-in-law was like, this is what it would be like if we came on this with our friends. It was fantastic. The vibes were great. We got to see a bunch of, like, the train itself is lit up and you go on the train and see the path and it's really beautiful. Very fun little, like, family Christmas thing and the kids loved it. But the holiday season is, like, in full swing and I can't imagine what it is like for you with 3 children because the parties, Halloween is one thing. I will say Halloween is, like, crazy for kids. I feel like Christmas and then on top of that, your kids come home for, like, an extended period of time and there's just so many activities plus Christmas itself.
Yes.
That feels like as a parent, it is a crazy time, especially like brain power. How's it working? I don't even know.
It is. It's fun. It's high energy, but like the logistics are really hard. And because of like both of my worlds, I'm always behind. Now we're recording this on a Thursday. So tomorrow, my wife is out and the kids are at school. And so, like, I'm getting a new arcade game tomorrow, by the way, which I'm very excited about. That's Christmas
Is it
surprise.
going in the basement?
Oh, yeah. And it's going to be absurd down there.
Okay.
Like, we'll talk about logistics. A mess, but we're going to make it work. So it's great, but it is, like, managing families, right? Like, it's the same shit now that you have, except it's more complicated because everybody has kids. Everybody wants to see the kids. So like the next week is it's stressful. However, I love this time of year.
Me too.
And I love where also like Christmas is falling on the calendar. Like I feel like there's a clean break. Now we have football. Like football is going to blanket the holidays.
Yes.
And last year was really weird. Remember that? Like we were like, what the fuck? And this year there's something I kind of like about the calendar this year. I feel much differently than I did a year ago when we were like, what are we going to do? No, like we got fucking games.
Yeah.
They're here.
Playoff?
If you're listening to this, you got a game. The playoff has arrived. Like I am excited about that.
Yeah. When you're listening to this today, there's a playoff game, which is so crazy. But I think also like the New Year's Eve and New Year's Day being on like in the middle of the week instead of like a true Saturday, or I think last year, I want to say it was like a Thursday, Friday. So it like really threw things off. I feel like having it in the middle of the week is great. There's a decent amount of time between games. I feel like this is a good flow. And then before we know it, actually, literally a 1 month from today, we will be in Miami.
Now that's terrifying.
1 month from today, we'll be in Miami.
That's terrifying.
Which, by the way, hoping that the weather is like, I know it's winter, but like, can it be like a little warm? We have had some of the coldest national championships.
Oh my God.
Like last year in Atlanta, it was the coldest like 3 days that they had in like a decade or something. It was crazy. And then
the ice storm.
Yeah. And then when we were in Indy, I had never experienced weather that cold. So I was like, this Indy in January feels like it's really just throwing me into like the lion's den. Okay.
Oh.
So I'm looking forward to the next stretch of them being Miami, and then we get Vegas.
Oh, fucking A, buddy. I'm so glad you brought it up.
I am so excited. I love this part of the season is actually so fun for us because we kind of like grind through the year. This part we get to have a little fun, go and like we get to have a great time and like hang out. I mean, you and I obviously got to go to New York and that was amazing. Yes. But it's fun because we get to do this stuff for playoff purposes and it is really fun for us to be one together, but also get to experience this stuff.
It slows down. You can actually, I feel like, enjoy it. Like it's like I'm writing locks this week, right? And actually I started writing, like I don't give a shit if it's Christmas Eve or not. They're going to be goddamn locks next week, folks. Okay.
There are.
And I started writing that last night. Like, and it felt good. Like, I have loved writing about the bowl season. And actually, we are off to a blazing start. Fucking shout out Delaware Heads last night. Cover it, right? Old Dominion. Bam. We're winning money on all sorts of shit. So, then we'll talk about that. I've got locks too that we can revisit. So, I love this time of year. It does slow down a little bit. Like the Hawaii Bowl, Christmas Eve, right? Like, banger. We got to figure out if we're doing a pod next week. By the way, I just realized that. Maybe I should have asked that before we started,
sure
so we
are.
can
We'll
announce.
find- we'll
We'll
find
figure it
time.
out. And it will probably be an off the rails episode. They usually are.
I
around
will
holidays.
drink next week on the episode. So whenever we find time for it, it's going to be a night one so that I can drink.
So before we get to the playoff games, which we will
Yes.
make this about, this will be maybe a slightly shorter pod, which will never be. Heisman.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Your
Husband
thoughts?
Dosa. Sorry.
He is delightful.
I love him.
He is a
haters gonna hate.
delightful. No, he is pure joy. Like, I think he's great, and it's an interesting contrast to Diego, like who the runner up.
Villain era entered. Wow.
And I think that's really interesting. And I'm cool with him, by the way. I get it. You're mouthing off a little bit. You're sad. It's fine. Probably shouldn't do it. Like, not the greatest, but like wildly entertaining. Like, we need a heel, and he's our heel. And I think that he's leaning into that role, which is great. But I think an Indiana quarterback winning the Heisman, the voting was interesting to me because it was not terribly close. It was like kind of in this weird middle ground of like, yeah, he's going to win, but by how much? Not like a blowout like a Joe Burrow year, but deservingly so. And I think he gives off some goofball energy, and I think that's great. I like goofball energy.
I do too. I'm a big fan. I think, I don't know if you read the Players Tribune thing that his mom wrote him.
No, I did not.
Oh, don't actually have a glass of wine and read it. You will be sobbing hysterically. I was crying so hard reading it. I said to my family, like, guys, I cried reading it. It's so great and so lovely. College football needs a guy like him, and especially in this era of like money, and like now you get to be like showy about it, where before, like, yeah, we saw the chains on recruits and like things like that in the cars, but now you've got like Diego Pavia, who's on like every podcast he could possibly get on, and like wants to be, and knows what he's doing, rightfully so, like using his moment to kind of like blast himself into whatever notoriety he can. But I think when you have a guy who's like literally using LinkedIn as his social media platform, and then his brother and like marketing team run everything else, that also is like a testament to like, you don't have to do it the like where you're posting every day or you're like using all of that to do the NIL stuff. Like, you can focus on football and have everything else will come still because of that, and the success on the field will also be a part of that. So that's big. I did want to make note of the Heisman voting, the Jacob Rodriguez first place votes, and now he had more than 2 of the Heisman finalists. So that was sad to see that he didn't get to go to that. I really thought he was deserving to be in New York. So yeah, overall great that Fernando Mendoza is the face of this. Diego Pavia saying F the voters was interesting. I saw Reese Davis said he regrets voting for him after seeing how he reacted. Which like
we have to calm down about that. Like,
but also don't be I don't know. Well, I think also like carry yourself the way, like, if you like there's just something to it where like there's chip on your shoulder and then there's too far. And I think Diego had like the perfect chip on his shoulder. I think that was just like a tad too far.
I think, yes, for sure. You can't say that. I'm not
well, it's not like he's not making money off of the fact that he's like being included in this and like snubbed from it. He went on like a billion podcasts to talk about how Vanderbilt wasn't making the playoff. Like, normally people who are on teams like that don't make money and don't get those opportunities.
See, it's tough when we get into the business of judging personalities. Now, he makes it easy when he says this, and, having people regret voting for him. I don't know. Like, you're voting on the season.
You're voting on his play.
You're voting on his play.
Yes.
Right? This is not we don't know with these players.
It's not a popularity contest.
It really isn't. But is I don't know what the this is not a draft podcast. I always have to say that every time I go down this route. But like with Shador, we endured the Shador draft process. Diego is not considered like an early pick, but this process for him is going to be exhausting. It's going to be like he's going to do podcasts. He's going to do more things. He's going to do all the camps. He's a baller. Like he plays and like he shows up. But I think we're going to be tired of it by the time the draft rolls around.
I will say this. I think this is the nature of like the business right now. I will not say I agree with this, but I think like you kind of have to choose like one lane or the other. And Diego is certainly going the like, I'm going to make as much money, be out there public facing as much as I possibly can. Sure, draft stuff, obviously going to be a conversation and all that. I think he's thinking, actually, this isn't true. I think Diego Pavia thinks he could be a great NFL quarterback and can be successful. He obviously proved
he might. He's a baller.
But I think he is trying to capitalize on the other stuff right now.
Yes.
And, and that can
I see
that's hard in the draft process. That could really interfere with you being you could make it easier on yourself by not doing that. And he's choosing the like harder route in terms of like putting himself in that position. I'm not saying it's right or fair, but that's just like the nature of how this all goes.
You know, it reminds me a little bit, maybe less, maybe a little bit more alienating of Baker Mayfield. Two guys that crawled through a lot of shit to find stardom. And Baker's now Baker, I know he got arrested, like right, like there's always been an edge to him. I don't think he ever went this far, right? Yeah. But it kind of reminds me of it, a guy that like is not going to be people are not going to like him no matter what.
Yeah.
And this kind of shit does not help that whatsoever.
Yeah, and it's going to, like, to your point, it's going to make the draft process exhausting and kind of annoying to listen to because I don't necessarily agree with it, but it's just like we know what's about to unfold.
Yes. So it wasn't great, and you can't do it, and you need to have better people in your life that will tell you not to do it. But he's a fucking kid, and it's part of his brand. So part of me is like, let's see what happens next.
Right.
But go for it.
I did want to talk about the coaching thing that happened today at Texas. Because I just saw it before we came on the show.
Yes, I did too.
Will Muschamp is going to be their defensive coordinator. Thoughts?
A little surprised. I guess Muschamp is still like a brand name, right?
Right.
So that was a little surprising. Seemed a little reactionary. Were they that bad? Like this one took me off guard a little bit. I don't know about you, but it took me off guard.
I feel like, dang, okay, like that didn't see that to me. That wasn't the issue with Texas this year.
Yeah, no. So
we're making these moves because you have to. When you don't make the college football playoff and you're in Sark's position, you kind of like have to make a move for people above you to be happy or the boosters or whatever. Arch is coming back. We know that.
Yes.
Arch officially coming back, which is great. Another year of us having to have these conversations over and over and overreacting to every little thing. But yeah, kind of interesting. Yeah.
It feels a little desperate, but it also feels like something that's been in the works for a while.
Yeah. It's like we knew we needed to make a move, and this is the move we decided to make. Just to say we made a move and we didn't just stick with what we had this last year, which is weird to me, but it is what it is. Yeah, there's some weird coaching news. I know I can't remember how in depth we got on Sharon Moore last week because of the timing of that. But
well, it happened.
It happened so quick that we didn't get to like kind of dive in on that.
Yes.
Maybe.
My God.
I mean, first of all, crazy, insane, scary, all the things. I do want to talk a little bit about like their coaching hire. Do you think the DeBoer stuff is real?
It won't go away. So
I know.
I don't know if that's a product. Like he's denied this twice.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it's real. I do wonder what the response will be if Alabama loses, and if he'll just say, "Oh, fuck it." And I'm wondering for Michigan if it like It's been very quiet on the Michigan front too, which could mean they have a search firm, they're doing their due diligence, or we've got our guy.
Yeah.
Like, I got to be honest. That Alabama job right now feels somewhat toxic.
Yeah.
I really think that unless you're, and it was always going to be toxic because you're following Nick fucking Saban.
But so is the LSU job. Like,
well, it is, but like the expectations at Alabama are even more insane because LSU at least has not tasted that kind of success. Like if Lane comes out next year and they make the playoff in a 16 format, 16 team, like I think people will be thrilled or accepting of that. DeBoer like makes the playoff and it's like, you better win this game or you're in deep shit. Like, all right. Yes,
yeah.
this thing has not always looked quite right. But I do wonder with DeBoer, who's what? He's a Midwest cold weather, like he's not an SEC guy. Like if you're looking at this job, which is a great job and say I'd be happier here. Like we don't know. I will say he's done nothing but deny it. Like he has done everything he can to say I'm not doing this. Like literally said it. And so that part is interesting to me.
Yeah. I also Kenny Dillingham crying about how much he loves Arizona State. Excuse me.
I thought you were about to cry.
I felt like it. I'm getting choked up over here because I'm sad that he won't leave. I just want him to leave so bad. I'm like, please, Michigan. When Michigan opened, I was like, we did it, Joe. We did it. We finally got one that he's gonna leave for. No, literally getting emotional about that.
I fucking love that dude, man. I know this Arizona State
and it's
stuff.
annoying. Okay, it's annoying that I love him and I can't. Although my football team is in good hands and doing well, but I do also want to read you another tidbit of information. Did you read this already? The that Ohio fired head football coach Brian Smith, citing an extramarital affair with an undergraduate student. Smith's attorney, hold on. Smith's attorney says he was in a consensual relationship with the student and his wife, with whom he was divorcing, did not consider it an affair. So, why can't you just be normal at college football? Why do we have to do this? Why?
I thought originally, if you roll the take back of what you're telling me, I thought he was getting fired because he was drinking beers in the office. So I'm smiling, and then I heard student, and then you can see my smile like disappear. So
you're like, just cover my bases here.
Abandoned.
This stuff is so crazy to me that this stuff is like, what are we doing? What are we doing? On top of everything else, like college football, why?
Also, what does the wife think?
What the wife?
Former wife. Soon to be former wife?
Yeah, she's gonna be the ex-wife. So I don't think she cares. I think she was just like, do what you want to do.
Oh, I'll bet she cares.
She cares because it's gonna help her get some more money, I'm sure. But in this split,
college football coaches.
And just like, what are we? Let's just like take a beat.
It's the year of Lane. It is the year of Lane in every way.
Thinking about having an affair, don't. There's your piece of advice. Just don't. There you go. You're welcome.
Yeah. The Sherrod Moore thing, just to revisit that, after the pod, you and I are just like, the news got like worse and worse. And worse.
We did a show after that.
And it's just awful. And look, I'm not horrible. I don't feel like sympathy is not the right emotion, but there is some of that. I'll say this, just because you have a young guy whose life he's made this decision. So I don't have sympathy for why he's arrived at this position. However, it's very public, it's very personal. And to have your life ripped like that, yes, it's your fault. It's still really hard to watch because it just craters everybody near him. Like it's bad. It's really, really bad. So,
I mean, the woman who had an affair with him, like, sure, she had an affair, but like, you don't deserve to have someone show up at your house and threaten to kill themselves and blame you for this. It's just like the whole thing is so sad, and it's like it's so magnified that makes it that much worse. And that he thought that like he couldn't weather the storm. He thought that like reacting this way was the best way is like the scary part.
He will, in whatever way, will move on from this.
Yeah.
Bobby fucking Petrino was a coach on a sideline, and I'm not saying that's good or bad, but Bobby
Yeah.
Petrino was trying to angle for the Arkansas job. In the moment, it's terrible. He's a young guy, younger than me. And it's just bad. But the crater, just the details that emerged and the shot of him in the cell. I mean, it was
Yeah, and
awful.
his hearing was wild.
So I do want to ask you something. We will preview games a bit, and I saw Joe Klatt ranted about this and the whole notion of teams announcing players returning, that we've signed
Oh, the
X
re-signing
player
of players. Yes.
to a contract. Now, it will never feel quite right to me. It does look weird.
Mhm.
There's been some really interesting ones. I just was reading, actually, and I hadn't seen this before we started, like Kevin Jennings is coming back for SMU. That's a huge deal for them. Miami for USC. That was the one that kind of jumped off the page. USC is kind of announced their contracts like in a way a football or baseball professional team would. So I saw Joe Klatt was ranting about this and not liking it. It is weird, but how does it make you feel seeing it? Are you used to it yet?
No, I think I would feel better if this was like regulated the same way. So like we're doing this in the quote off season when the portal's supposed to open in we should also talk about that. It's actually bothering me more that we're hearing about guys entering in the portal before the portal has opened. And by the time it opens, we're just going to know where these guys are going. I'm assuming that January 2nd is going to be just us finding out where everyone's going because they can actually say that.
Yes.
And I feel like we just like there has to be like a free agency type of like window or something where like you can announce these signings and those things and it's not during this time of year. I feel like it just takes away from the fact that like we're still in football season and it's very odd. But I think I'm more annoyed about the transfer portal stuff. And I know that it needs to happen because obviously, but it just like I actually messaged you about it. I was like, doesn't it feel kind of odd that like all of a sudden on a random Monday, everybody's announcing because it's one domino effect of like this person's name out there. We need this person's name to be out there. So like Lagway and Levitt we already kind of knew about, but like Lagway, and then you've got Brendan Sorsby. There's just like all kind Raiola, all this stuff. It's like all of a sudden all their agents were like, oh, we need to put this out there because we need people to decide. And the portal hasn't even opened. Like, it's so crazy to me. And like, what's weird about that is that I think it's because like some of those guys, like I did a video. I know you prepped for a video for this, but
yes,
I did a video about like the top 4 names or whatever. And like a guy like Brendan Sorsby is not going to go to a team that isn't in the playoff currently. Like he's either going to like Indiana or Texas Tech. I think he'll go to Texas Tech. I don't think he'll end up going back to Indiana because I think Cignetti, he started his career there and he left when Cignetti got there. So
but like,
I mean, it's a perfect fit, and I know the like situation in terms of Fernando and all of that, but Texas Tech has the money. They need the quarterback for at least a year.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because they've got
you got your ACL situation. You're right.
So it's like it makes the most sense, but it's like I think a lot of this has to do with like some of those schools need time to talk to some of these guys and figure out what they want to do next. Doesn't matter what happens in the college football playoff, but those staffs that are like their recruiting staff or their portal or whatever their GM needs to like take a beat during this time where they do have games to play. They need a moment. So they want to get everybody's names out there. So by that time, they're not worrying about that. They're worrying about if they're still in the college football playoff or not.
So as we enter this time, I was thinking about this a little bit. So when you look at the games on Saturday of the number of transfer quarterbacks, Friday and Saturday. So Alabama, Ty Simpson is Alabama. Wow. Completely original. John Mateer obviously transferred. There's movement otherwise, essentially pretty much everywhere else. Dante Moore, right? And like big, high profile, like, A&M with Reed is a little bit different, but Miami, right? Like, so I look at the crop of Sam Levitt, Sorsby, DJ Lyway, Who am I missing? Sounds like Lenora Sellers is staying. I actually think,
Swordsman,
but those three alone, right, are
Lagway, Raiola.
Raiola, who I don't know.
By the way, did you see that the
Don't.
rumor was that he was interested in Oregon?
Is Oregon interested in him?
That's literally was my exact thought. It was like, that
Well,
seems like a no for me, dog. I think Florida State makes more sense for him.
oh God, that just seems bad. Like I don't know why. It just seems like in a year
I'm
of
just
like
thinking in
Mike
terms of
Norvell needs to win 10 games. Enter
but
Raiola.
I mean, but for real, like maybe this is me being like too critical of like what has happened at Nebraska. But obviously, he's also coming off an injury. That's the other part of this.
Yeah,
like,
no. I actually like your Texas Tech Sorsby better than Indiana.
I think it makes the most sense. And also, he's from, I think, Dallas. So I don't know what he wants to do at Lubbock. But still, you're in Texas again. I don't know. And he's doing it to improve his draft stock. He knows they can win the Big 12.
I like him as a player. I think he's well, and Lane is destined. Well, who knows? Like Chambliss, Levitt, or Lagway, right? That is going to be one of those is going to be an LSU quarterback. Really interesting. Really interesting.
It's so hard. I initially said Lagway because I think Lane.
He's retweeting it. Shit, like Lane is not shy in terms of giving some of the tea leaves for this either.
But it's also just I genuinely think that Lagway has the potential, and I think Lane is not stupid. I don't think he would risk his first year at LSU with a guy that he didn't think was capable of that. And I think he knows ceiling wise, those three guys, you got Levitt, Lagway, and Chambliss. DJ Lagway's ceiling is way higher than the other two. But can you get that out of him? And is that going to happen? Is such a difficult question. So it's going to be, if Lane wants, I mean, I don't know. I just don't know.
I think it's a great question. I think all three, Chambliss, you know what you're getting. Dual guy who looks really good. I think Levitt, I mean, I've said it forever. I think he would be the perfect fit because he's everything. He does a little bit of everything. And the attitude, I think LSU would benefit from his mindset. And then Lagway, to your point, like if you watched him in stretches this year, you're like, this is one of the best young quarterbacks I've seen. And if you watch him in other stretches, you're like, good God, this is DJU 2.0. I mean, that's like unfortunately. So, what a big decision for Lane. I mean, it's huge.
Yeah, it is. I think he's going to be the first domino. I think all quarterbacks are going to wait for the Lane decision, and then they'll make their decision accordingly. I think Sorsby's probably the only one that I think will decide that he's going to go be at Texas Tech before then. The other person that I want to talk about is Nick Marsh.
Yeah,
I think the Lane is going to go for him. I think LSU, and that is like a perfect. So you sell whatever quarterback you choose, have them a package deal with. I mean LSU is. I just hope everyone's prepared. Like that, their portal class this year. I know last year they had a good one, but with Lane, you're gonna be able to like capitalize on that. I'm just like, it's gonna be nuts. It is going to be crazy.
No, this is why you hire Lane Kiffin, because the allure on offense is going to be incredible, and on a defense, I hate to say it, but LSU recruits itself, and the state is so rich. Like we saw it even with the class he was able to assemble in quote unquote year zero, right? There's some dudes, legit dudes. So, it's exciting. It's a weird time of year. To your point, the pacing still doesn't feel right. But it also, you can't help, like Bo Prabula back in the market today, I saw.
Eli Drinkwitz to Michigan.
Yeah, like Bo's back in. I'd like him at Iowa, by the way. I would. I'd like Bo at Iowa. Let the record show.
You want him to come to Iowa?
Yes. You want to talk games?
Let's talk games. College football playoff time.
All right. We should start with Friday. There's been some line movement here, which is interesting. So Alabama was a 1.5 point favorite in this game for a really long time. Mm-hmm. And then I woke up today and Oklahoma was favored by 1.5.
Okay.
And right now is. So that's a big swing. That's a 3-point swing. Now, granted, It's not like a key number per se, like 1.5. Like that's not like doesn't scare you. But I am curious, like that caught my attention. Like I submitted locks and I bet Bama lock. There you go. Spoiler alert. And I had Bama favored by 1.5, and then boom. So I don't know what that tells us, but we haven't seen a ton of movement in any other game, and
So
fascinating.
we did picks last week. We did predictions last week for these games. We then today had to do bold predictions for these games.
Yes.
I genuinely, after really breaking it down in terms of matchup, environment, all of these things, could be convinced that Oklahoma can win this game. I
Oh.
genuinely, like, I originally was like, no way, I think Alabama's going to regroup and do that. But after thinking about it, like, one of my bold predictions today was I think that Ty Simpson could throw 2 interceptions. Because I watched back and I was like, they just, like, Venables has his number, but also they also had Jalen Milroe's number. Like, this defense and, like, DeBoer's adjustment to that, whether it's under with Grubb or not, has not been great. And, like, that makes me nervous that, like, they're just not going to have the adjustment for it and are going to lose this game. And it's going to be gross. And I mean, the other part of this, though, is that, like, can you convince yourself that Oklahoma's offense is going to do enough against Alabama's defense?
Yeah, so the total in this game is 40.5. That's like Iowa shit, right? It's been in the 30s. The first game, Alabama lost. They doubled up Oklahoma in terms of yardage. They turned the ball over 3 times. That was the difference because it was a really close game.
Yeah.
Mateer's, by all accounts, getting healthier. I do think he's been playing super limited. But God, that LSU game is just was such dog shit. And the Georgia game for Alabama was even a larger brand of dog shit, albeit against a team that could win the national title. I think anybody who says they know what's going to happen in this game is a liar.
Yeah.
And I think I'm comfortable to admit that, right? Like I picked the Alabama. Oklahoma could win. Alabama may be broken beyond repair. And so Oklahoma might be too, but they're playing at home and it may not matter because Alabama is so fucked up.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to do with this game.
Yeah. If we hadn't picked last week and I was picking today, I would probably pick Oklahoma to win by a field goal.
I will not by any means tell you you're wrong because although I picked Bama in a lock, for these locks, we're picking every game. That's what we do. This is a game during the regular season. I don't think I bet. I don't have a great feel. Now this game is interesting. And like you, I'm having second thoughts.
Okay.
I'm having second thoughts, and
you're back on my side almost.
I've been thinking about Miami, Texas A&M. So the line here is Texas A&M minus 3.5. I've seen the line dip down to 3. The total is 48.5. So not huge, right? Two very good defenses. I think home field for me, why I picked A&M originally is why I'll stick with it. But you want to tell me that Miami's going to win? Like I can't argue with that. Like in our video today, you made a really good point. Like Marcel Reed is like flip the coin and like good read. And if you get second half South Carolina Reed, they're going to fucking blow them out. I mean, there's actually maybe no better quarterback in college football than Marcel Reed when he's going. And when he's off and he can't run, and it's an issue. And then what do we get in Miami, who's got renewed life and is playing with house money? And like, I think I love this game. It's again, I don't love betting on it, but I love the matchup.
Yeah. I picked Miami, and I think too, like, the inconsistency of Texas A&M all year, I think finally caught up with them in the Texas game. Like we saw them play in a lot of games that they should not have been in close games with. Like they played up
yes.
Every time they played a big game, they sort of had like a game after that really they should have just won by 1 billion and didn't. And I think in this circumstance, sure, they've had a couple weeks to regroup maybe after Texas and figuring stuff out. But I worry about the inconsistency. And I think for a Miami team who like does a lot really well and is going to get theirs no matter what because of that offensive line, even if Carson Beck struggles, like they're still going to be able to get a lot done offensively. And their defense as well is going to be pretty aggressive. So it's like, I feel like they're going to do enough, and it's not going to be, but to your point, like if Marcel Reed shows up and this is like the ultra version of him, cool. But like, I just don't have faith that that's going to be the case in this circumstance.
Awesome game. I think I'll be writing about this game, and it's like the team that wins this is a problem, and is probably not being taken as a serious enough threat to win the game after this. But they will be, I think, post this game.
Well, and then the next two games that we have are just like not good.
All right, so Tulane Ole Miss. I from our video earlier, I think I like the over in this game. The over is 56.5. So Ole Miss is going to pour it on. Tulane will do enough to contribute. The line is 17.5. Ole Miss won this game previously 45-10.
By the way, Tulane hasn't beaten Ole Miss in 35 years, so this would be insanity in terms of an upset.
Oh, it would be shocking. By the way, it would be great for college football.
It would be. It'd be fantastic. I mean, the narrative around, I mean, Lane would be like, secretly.
See?
Secretly, he would be happy about this, but, yeah.
Look,
it's not happening.
Ole Miss is going to be fine. And this game is going to be even worse. Oregon, James. Do you
have Ole Miss covering?
I don't have a side. I just have the over. I just have the over. If I were to pick, I don't know.
Tulane can kind of be feisty offensively. I just think there's too much.
Well, I was like looking back at the box score because you and I watched the North Texas game, and that game told lies. Tulane forced 5 turnovers, right? North Texas was moving the ball well.
Yeah.
That is not duplicatable. That's a problem. Like
So what's funny is I remember being like, I'm like, did I remember that correctly? Because to be fair, we were at a bar watching that, so you can put context clues together. I was like, there was a pickleback involved. I'm like, did I remember the fact that like that was like a really still not a good game for Tulane either? Like, yes, they won, but like what?
No, 5 turnovers. Great job. Do it again. Like that's kind of my thought. I worry about that. And then this game. God, I want to be wrong. James Madison, I hope you keep it close. Your social media this week has been tremendous.
Fire. Good job.
Great work. Social media champions. I just don't see how this is a close game.
No, and Dan Lane is going to want to literally obliterate.
Yeah,
obliterate.
So what was the score of here? I'm going to do some digging. What was the score of Liberty? When Oregon played Liberty in the playoff, what was that? Or was it the playoff?
In the playoff? No, that was in the it was a New Year's Six Bowl.
New Year's Six Bowl. So the score of the Fiesta Bowl was 45-6. This feels 45-6-ish. Like,
yeah, I think I picked it to be like a 50-50 burger for Oregon.
Again, James Madison, do your thing. Would love to be wrong, but I think I'm going to be right.
Yeah, I think you're spot on here. I think I would take the over, and I would take the cover. What's the total? I love how I was like, I'll take the over, even though I didn't know.
47.5. So 45-6 is, yeah. So like that is telling you, yeah, that does feel overish. Oregon may contribute that themselves. Like, what? I wonder what the team total is.
Maybe it's because JMU runs the ball, and maybe people think like less time is that. I don't know, but that's wild.
Where is he? I gotta find an Oregon team over because that right now 86%. Let's see, no, I'm sorry, spread 73% on Oregon, according to this is DraftKings. Team props. This is what I want to see. 13.5 is James Madison's team over. That's under bet. Oregon's is 33.5. That's an over bet.
Love it.
So there you have it. Any parting shots? I actually have a dinner I have to go to, which I'm looking forward to. But any parting shots? We already did kind of random shit.
No, I feel like we're in a. Sorry that the pod is a day late. We've had chaos, plus also like some weird sickness vibes of like, do we have voices or not, and is there going to be coughing?
Usually that's me, for the record, and for once it was you.
Yeah, it was me.
I am. We're like 8-1 me versus you. So it's nice to not actually be doing, including this year. I think I've had 2 or 3.
to be fair, like I'm like choking every time I choke. It's because my throat is super dry, but it's because I lose my voice like at least once a year, knock on wood, and like lose it meaning like it just gets raspy and like it's gone. And like the other morning I woke up and it was very much gone. And Nick was like, what just happened? Because I was talking to him, then all of a sudden it just like cut out and I was trying to cough to get it back. Nothing was helping. Had 2 cups of tea and it came back, but like, buddy, it was bad. And then
you sound so much better than when I was in Vegas or Florida. Like
Vegas is the smoke stuff. Like that's what happened to me. I go to Reno and I get the like sickness from being in Reno in a casino. Ooh.
Yeah, that's it. That was it. That
casino
was not
flu
me.
is what it's
Yeah,
called. So
it's like
so in a year
kennel
from
cough,
now,
but casino cough. Yeah,
casino cough.
yeah. That's there will be voice loss in Vegas. Sorry, that's on me. All right. Well, we'll recap the games. We will record a pod. It'll be earlier next week because the holidays are coming, so we'll figure that out. And can't wait. Lots to break down, lots to pick. For Paige, I'm Adam. We will talk to you guys soon.